Hey everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing Mickey 17. This was directed by Bong Joon-ho. I was excited about this film because this is his big follow-up to his critically acclaimed Best Picture winning film at the Academy Awards, Parasite, in 2019. But also, we were supposed to see this maybe a year ago, but because of the writer's strike, that prevented all of that from happening. So it's prolonged anticipation. And when you look at the premise, you're like, yeah, this does look like something that Bong Joon-ho would tackle, but at the same time, it looks like it has the potential to offer us something new. It is a sci-fi film, but it's also a black comedy. Mickey is our main character, and he is played by Robert Pattinson. This film takes place in the future, and Mickey joins a ship that is going to colonize a new planet. On this ship, he signs up to become a human expendable, and he's not exactly a human sacrifice, but he's basically like a human guinea pig. He gets cloned over and over again as a human copy so that they can basically experiment on him. They can kill him in any possible way they want to. But it's no problem. They just crank out another Mickey from the assembly line. But all the Mickeys do share the same memories as the core Mickey, the original Mickey. And I don't know, I just thought that was cool. I was interested in this film. And, the beginning of the movie, I would say, it starts off well. It has kind of a quirky narration. There's a self-awareness, a creativity, definitely in the world building and in the concepts. And I could see all of that starting to weave together. But unfortunately, this one was tough for me. I think because I wanted to like it a lot. I could see shades of brilliance going on often, touches of it, but the material simply is not focused. And the thing that really disappointed me the most was that it felt like it was wasting opportunities to build on its own ideas. It's shying away from complex questions in favor of more, I guess, on-the-nose satire. And there are so many themes going on here, from existential to political to social, where we're trying to straddle multiple tones. But the result for me is scatterbrained and thinly conceived, and I found myself feeling more and more cold to it as it went on. This felt like a chainsaw, or like, one of those like rip cords, this whatever you call them, the strings, where you're just like you're pulling, trying to get the machine going, and but it just won't quite go. That's this movie. One of the best things about it, though, is Robert Pattinson. There are a few good performances in this film, but to me, his stood out the most. For a film that is this oddball and ambitious, I think he deserves real praise for trying to hold this whole thing together. From what I understand, his inspiration for the character, I don't know what you want to say here, was Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber, as well as Ren and Stimpy. I feel like he's constantly improving with each film, and he takes proper risks, and he chooses directors that are modern and they are present. And yes, this felt more like a more mature attempt at zaniness from him. A little bit like The Lighthouse. It's manic and eccentric. It's a real physical performance, so he gets to play around with the slapstick. It's committed, but at the same time, he feels like he's having fun here. Elements of the humor here, while they weren't landing, it's like I could see the potential for it landing if maybe the writing were a little bit better. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the movie I'm a Cyborg and That's Okay. That's Park Chan-wook, but that has elements of like gross and awkward, funny, but there's a tragic undercurrent to it all. But in this movie, it never felt like it caught fire. It's like nothing was ever bold enough or funny enough to really catch my attention. But that's the thing with Pattinson, and it's not his fault. You want to follow him. It's more the fault of the script, I think. It's not giving him interesting places to go. I mean, it flirts with it, especially when we get into the whole Mickey 17 and 18 situation, where it's like he confronts himself, but also the idea of dying over and over again. It's those elements of destruction becoming familiarized and normal, but also the elements of class and politics being mixed in, how in so many ways people are kind of paying for their own destruction slowly without even realizing it. It's these elements that I wanted to connect to more on an emotional level. That's what I wanted to fundamentally drive this thing more than the satirical aspects. Because as it stands, I'm kind of confused at what the heart of this is supposed to be. It's like anytime a character becomes interesting or whatever, it feels like it starts to become reduced to a basic plot point or something stereotypical. And I think the movie it relies way too heavily on the political commentary, and that could have worked if it had maybe more nuance. But that cartoonish performative aspect of everything, to me, it flattens the experience, and it keeps the movie from reaching its full potential. And those characters, the villains who are played by Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette, it's like you can see what they're going for, but particularly in the case of Mark Ruffalo, it just felt like a a flat performance, hammy, but also not quite jiving with the rest of the film so far as the humor. And the film becomes less immediate as the movie becomes more reflective as a political commentary and a social commentary. And it's like with Mickey, like the whole experience with him is so physical and so, awful. He's going through so many terrible things. It's like you want him to have that self-actualization and that grit. And that's what's interesting about this movie. It's like there's a lot of violence in it, and yet I don't know, at least to me, I rarely felt it on a visceral level, on a physical level. And also, I feel like this movie struggled to find an ending, or maybe they had multiple endings here, but there's just something's funky in the editing. It's messy. Maybe miscommunication. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. Like I said, it is disappointing, but I don't think it's entirely a waste of your time. This is, obviously a Bong Joon-ho work, so it's like it's gonna be better than, typical films. He's more creative than average, obviously, but yeah, I don't consider this to be anywhere near some of his best works, certainly not Parasite. So if I were to see this, I might stream it, but I wouldn't go see it in the theaters. That's just me. But that is my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to plug my website as always. It is deepfocuslens.com. I'm an artist. I do commission portraits, and I also sell prints of my work. If that is something that you're interested in, you can always go to the website below. And if you have a question about a commission or a print, you can always email me. My email is in the description box below as well. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons who are great. Guys, thank you so much for your support. Welcome to all the new members if you are interested in supporting. The link for that is below, as well as the rest of my social media information. You can watch more videos here, and you can subscribe if you'd like. Catch you next time.